Okay, you guys should know what time it is. It is time to destroy back. It is time to destroy shoulders. We are excited for a crazy back and shoulder pump. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. Our back has been looking super crazy compared to how it looked a few months back. So we've been for sure making some solid progress. And I think we're just going to continue to do what we do and just continue to push hard. Now, I'm thinking that today, just based on how busy it is, just because it gets a little bit tricky for us, we'll either do some pull-ups or we do some pull-downs. It just kind of depends. Because sometimes we get there and the pull-up section is taken, or the assisted pull-ups. And I typically like to do the assisted pull-ups just because on the third set, I like to do it assisted, just because I won't get the same amount of reps, let's say for example, as the first one. And I typically like to match it a little bit or stay around the 6 through to 10 range is what you usually see me stick to. And now, if we don't get to that, no worries, that can sometimes happen. You can either pause it, so you take a little bit of time, hit the same weight, and then hit it again for maybe 2 reps, because you're not expecting to hit it for another 7. We're not going to be waiting for you to get enough rest time to basically do another set. So you want to take a few seconds to kind of get some of that recovery and then hit that again, and that can be a pause set. Now, a drop set would be, for example, you start off with, let's say, 135 on the bar, and you will only get 7 reps. What you can do is you'll unrack the 45. Maybe you'll do 40. Maybe you'll do 125, right? Maybe you'll do 125. Maybe you'll do, but something a little bit closer so I can give you a little bit more area to really give me 1 second, because there's a bit of a bike here. All right, I think we're good. But it gives you a little bit more room to get a few more reps in and reach that failure. Now, I wouldn't say one or the other is better. I kind of just like to kind of switch it around. So you'll see me doing drop sets. You'll see me doing pause sets. Now, you will never see me multitasking between different muscle groups like super crazy. Like, you're not going to see me doing one set of bicep curls and then go straight into like a pull-up. That it makes no sense doing that. So I suggest really isolating your muscle groups so that way you can put as much attention to them as possible. Because once you start getting to those routine where you're doing like a crazy setup where you're doing a bunch of random exercises, you just won't focus enough on that, on every single muscle group. So I suggest you kind of break that apart and just kind of create a routine for yourself. Now, you can do a routine that we do, and I want to say it's a pretty good one. Obviously, you're going to kind of change the weights a little bit just based on your strength level and stuff. Some people are going to be super crazy strong. They can kind of keep around the same rep range and stuff, and then just make sure they choose a weight that's challenging and everything. Or you can also look up other routines as well online. There's a bunch on YouTube, and I'm also not going to say like there's only one routine that's the one and this one's going to get you the most gains. I think sometimes a good little mix is good. So sometimes you can throw some stuff in. Now, I think the worst thing someone can do sometimes is I think it's just like sometimes we spend a lot of time thinking that more is better, and sometimes for me even that can happen. Or sometimes I like to think that less is better, but I would say it just kind of depends. You really have to play around with it and just kind of see how your body what would be the correct word, adapts to everything, because some people might need a little bit more, like a little bit more volume. Some people might need a little bit less. It just really depends on how your body recovers and everything. So really play around with what better works for you and your lifestyle and everything. I think that's the most important part. not just trying to find a specific routine that's the best one, for example. I think the best routine is the one you can stick to and you're going to get the most results out of, because the more consistent you can be, that's where you want to be. That's where you want to be. Now, I was kind of going on TikTok, and sometimes I see TikTok lives, and man, some folks are still a little confused about like certain caloric deficits or bulking and things like that. And a lot of the times they want to copy like a specific meal that, let's say, they saw someone on TikTok or whatever it might be. But really, if you're not looking at the macros, that meal might not reflect the same way it's going to reflect on that person. So you really have to tailor some of these macros to yourself instead of trying to kind of get specific meals, because you have to play around with stuff and you have to play around with your macros and see what fits and what not. What you can do is maybe grab that specific idea of what you saw of that food, but then actually calculate those macros once you kind of have them based on what you want, and then just replicate it based on your macros, because you don't want to replicate someone else's meals because their macros aren't going to be the same for you. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at meals that folks are preparing online. Usually kind of take a look at what fits with your current diet, and that's usually how I take a look at it. Okay, and then I kind of started going off on tangents, but we're also going to be doing some cross bodies like always, and then we're going to switch over to rows. So I'm thinking today for rows, I'm going to switch it up a little bit. Instead of doing the chest supported rows, I think we're going to go take it a little bit old school and do the non-assisted, the non-chest supported rows. So we're just going to do it with a regular cable stack, and I'll show you guys which one I'm talking about. It's not super old school or anything. It's just the one where you sit but you just don't have no support behind you or in front of you. Now I'm thinking we're gonna end up using the T-bar, which is the one you also use for your lat pull downs, and we're gonna use that bad boy to get a good wide grip, and we're gonna do kind of replicate the same thing we do with the chest supported ones, except this time around we won't have that. And then yeah, and I think we're gonna be done. We're gonna do two sets of the upper back, a little bit more upper back focus, and then we're gonna do a little bit more of lower back focus, kind of middle back. And then I'm thinking for shoulders, we're gonna keep it the same way. We're gonna do some lateral raises, which will do some pretty good damage. We're gonna use the little ankle attachment. Let me actually show you guys what I mean by ankle attachment. This is what we use for our lateral raises. So it basically kind of grips around your wrist, and it basically allows you to kind of take your arm away from a movement. And so what I do is I just kind of like set it on my wrist. I set the cable kind of, you know, where my hand would typically rest, and then I just kind of pull it to the side. You can kind of take a look at my videos to see what that looks like. But that, I am telling you guys, that has been growing our shoulders a crazy amount. I'm not even gonna lie. And then we're gonna move over to the reverse pec deck. Hit that bad boy for 4 sets, and then I think we'll be good. Now I'm thinking, just kind of depending on what's available, we either start off with, I'm thinking maybe the pec deck. I think that should be pretty good. We start off with the pec deck, just because there's only 2 of those, and really we can find a cable stack anywhere else. So I think maybe we might start off with the pec deck, really grow those rear delts, use some of that energy, and then we'll move over to the side delts. Okay. Anyways, let's switch over now to the gym. Let's see what we end up starting off with, because you never know. It's a bit packed at the gym. So we're gonna have to maneuver around a little bit. Let's take this off. Now, I am thinking the first two are gonna be non-assisted, and then the last one we'll do assisted. I think that'll be pretty good. Okay. I'm gonna do a quick pause to change the angle for you guys. Okay. I'm gonna take a quick 5 seconds and then we'll hit this bad boy for hopefully 2 more, 3 more in assisted. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. Okay, that was good. All right, let's do one more unassisted. Try to get maybe 6 to 7 is what I'm aiming for. Okay. Wish me luck. I might this for maybe 7, 8. Okay. For that one, we're gonna pause at that again. Hit it for maybe 2 to 3 more. Okay, I'll sit down the next one. On this last one, we're gonna do assisted just to make sure we get a solid, I don't know, 7 to 8 is what I'm hoping for. Now, in terms of assistance, for this specific pull-up machine, or for most assisted pull-up machines, the higher you go, or the lower weight you go, the less resistance it gives you. The higher is the weight, the more resistance it gives you. So it's a bit of the opposite compared to the other ones. Okay, I'm gonna take maybe 30 more seconds. We'll start this bad boy up. Hopefully I can get a solid 7 to 10. That's what I'm aiming for. And then after this, we're gonna go grab a cable sack. We're gonna do some rows with that. I think we'll be good. Okay. Maybe 10 more seconds. We'll start this up again. All right, let's go. Oh man. Okay, that was good. Let's clean this up and let's go do some rows now. Okay, so we got access to this cable stack, so we're gonna sit here for 2, and then we're gonna go do some rows after this. So we're gonna start off with our left hand. I'm thinking we'll do, what are the weights? No, either 63 or 67, and see how that goes. I'm gonna start with my left. That's the one I want to catch up, and then we'll just match it with our right. Let's put a good sound real quick. Whoa. All right. Let's do 63. Hope for the best. Okay, just match it right now. I think we got 8. I uh I lost a bit of track. Maybe around the 5th rep, I forgot to continue counting. I kind of was just pumping them out. Okay, let's do at least 8 on our right. See how that goes. Okay. One more just like that. Mr. Single for you. Okay. Now, I'm thinking for this last one, we're gonna stick to the 63 and get anywhere from 67. That's what we're aiming for. I'm gonna still start off with my left. This time around, I'm gonna keep a mental note of how many we got because I completely forgot on the last set. And then after this, I see a row machine calling our name, so we're gonna go do that after. All right, wish me luck. Let's actually put some music too. All right, so let's get 7 on our right. I'm gonna go wipe my face because I can't see anything. Okay. Sometimes when I start sweating a bunch, all the sweat goes into my eyes and I can't see anything and it burns a bunch. And it's not the most ideal conditions mid-set. Okay, let's hit all right for 7. And then we'll go finish off back with some rows. Okay, let's go do some rows now. We're done here. Okay, so like I mentioned, the car talk. We're originally gonna go do the other one, but someone beat us to it, so I think we're gonna end up doing these. Try to get maybe, I'm thinking 3 sets with this specific handle, and then we'll end up switching it up to maybe, we'll see what's open once we get to that point. But I think we're gonna do maybe 3 of the upper rows, and then kind of go from there. Try to go hard with this. Now, with these specific handles, I won't be able to use these. Let's drop set that one. Okay. I'm gonna take maybe a quick 10 seconds. I ended up dropping 15 pounds, so instead of the 75, I made this for 60. Try to get maybe at least another, I don't know, 3 or 4 is what I'm hoping for. All right, let's do it. Okay. That was good. Let's do 2 more just like that. Let's do our second set now. Let me make sure this thing's on me. Come on. There we go. Okay. I think we're gonna do this one for 70. Try to get maybe 7 to 8 is what I'm hoping for. And then we either stick to that same one or we do a bit of a bottom handle to do a little bit more of our lower back. But let's see. Okay. We're gonna pause it there. Hit it for maybe 2 more. Let me switch the little thing up. There we go. All right. Let's hit it for maybe 2, 3 more. Okay. That was good. I'm gonna go wipe my face. I'll be right back. Okay. I think we're gonna do 1 more of the upper rows and then do 2 sets of the bottom ones. And I think that'll be pretty good. I think for this next one we're gonna do 65 and see how that goes. Let's put a different song real quick and then we'll start. All right. We're gonna listen to Nights by Frank Ocean. I did say 65, huh? All right, let's do it. Let me get a better grip. Okay. That was good. Oh my God. I'm gonna switch the handle and do a little bit of lower back. Not bad at all. Oh yeah. Let me see how it's looking for me. That's actually not bad at all. All right. Okay, so we switch the handle to this one right here. What I'm gonna try to do is get the craziest stretch, but also keeping my elbows as tucked in as possible. I'm actually gonna go drink some water. I'll be right back. This is the bottom handle now. There's just 65. Oh my God. Let's see how this goes. We're gonna have to drop like that. That was way fucking harder than I thought. Holy shit. I'm gonna take a quick 15 seconds and then we'll hit it for maybe 2 to 3 more. This fucking belt doesn't let me fucking breathe. All right, come on. That was good. Let's switch the angle. Oh. All right. I'm thinking for the last one, what we'll do is maybe do 60. Just because that 65 was hella fucking hard,
And I want to make sure maybe I get at least a solid 6 to 7. That's what I'm hoping for. Let's see. So we're gonna take out this 5. And we're gonna do 60. I'm gonna take 30 more seconds, and then we'll start this bad boy up. Let me switch this on. Okay, let's do it. Let's try to get at least, I don't know, 7 to 8. Okay. What do we get? Let's let's drop 10. Hit it for maybe 2 more. All right, come on. That's it. Let's go do some shoulders now. Okay. Let's do this one. We're gonna do this one for a total of 4 sets. I think we're gonna do them one hand at a time. I'm gonna start off with my left the entire time, and then just match all right with that. But I think I'm just gonna record the first two, just how to make the video any longer than it needs to be. Okay, let's do it. Let's go hard. I think 110 should be good, actually. Actually, okay. We got about 7 and 2/3, so let's get 7 and 2/3 now again. I'm gonna take a quick breakdown between this. For sure on the next one, I think we're gonna drop down a little bit. But let's hit this right one for one more. There we go. All right. Okay. That was good. I'm gonna take maybe about a minute to a minute and a half. And then I'm gonna record one more and see here for 4. Okay. Let's give you guys a bit of a different view for this one. We're gonna drop down just a tiny bit. I think we're gonna do instead of the 110s, I think we're gonna do 95. See how that goes. Let me move the camera. Okay. All right. Let's match this real quick. Okay. That was good. Let's go for 2 more. I will see you guys for the cable stack on the other side. Let's finish up today. Okay. Now, like I mentioned in the car talk about ankle attachments, this right here is what I'm talking about. This is what we're gonna use. Ooh, let me actually switch this over real quick. There goes 5. This is what I'm talking about. Honestly, for your lateral raises, this thing is awesome. It takes your arms away from the movement, so all you're putting all your effort into your side delts, and that's what you want. So, what we're gonna start off with is some 20s. We're gonna start with our weak hand, which is our left. That's the one we want to catch up. And we'll just match it. See how that goes. I think that's pretty good. All right. Wish me luck. Yeah, no, code. Smells so bad. Okay. Oh, let's try to match that on our right. I'm gonna take maybe 10, 15 seconds though, because if I don't, I'm gonna end up failing from my energy levels and not my actual muscle fatigue, and that's not what we want. Okay. Let me catch my breath a little bit. All right, let's do it. Let's get 6. Okay. I think I'm just gonna record two of them. We're gonna save four. I'm gonna go drink some water because I'm fucking dying of thirst. I think on the next one we'll drop down to 17.5. This shit was fucking hard. There it goes. Okay. Let's do this next one. We ended up moving down to 17.5. You know what? Nah, let's do 19.5 or 19. And I think that'll be good. Just move down just a tiny bit. And I'm thinking maybe on the third or fourth we'll do 17.5. But let's still go hard on the second one. Come on, more. Okay. That was more like 7 3/4. Let's get 7 3/4 on her right now. All right, on our right, we kind of got 7 1/4, which is fine. Let's move down to 17.5 on the last two. I want to see you guys for the pose down up next. Okay, so we found a bit of a different spot right now because it is pretty packed at the gym. So let's see what kind of damage we did. Oh, we're also catching up with a friend, so our pump is low key gone, but I think that's fine. Let me. Way better. Okay. Nice. Okay. We are done. Let's go home. I'm not exactly sure what we're gonna end up eating for dinner, to be honest. But we're getting out a tiny bit later than we usually do. No biggie. Maybe I might stop by and get a white monster. I haven't had one of those in a minute. And I was telling you guys how I fell victim to the monster crave because, man, I think it was like 2 weeks where every single day I was stopping by the liquor store to pick up a monster. And I think we're gonna do that again today. Just because I'm kind of craving that white monster. Don't be like me. Don't fall into temptation, but sometimes that happens. Anyways, I will see you guys tomorrow again for some legs, quad focused, biceps, and forearms. Remember, you know what? I'm not even gonna repeat it. You guys sure already know. I'll see you guys in the next video.